Yep. I'm back. Back here. One more time, guys. Seriously and truly, gonna be a lot less visits in the next while, let's just say. Gonna try to get up here for the 162nd anniversary this July, or part of it if I can, work permitting and all that. Again, I'm starting in a new role, so it might be tougher to finagle since I'll have more responsibility. Anyways, I just wanted to talk a little more about this I guess kind of offbeat topic that I mentioned in a community post probably a little while back now. But those of you who come to the park quite a bit probably know that Plum Run is actually a creek, hence the name Plum Run. But those of you who have never been here, or have only been here once or maybe twice, probably drove by this area and thought it was a pond. It is not a pond, it is actually a creek. What makes it very much like a pond is that we have a couple beaver dams, and just past these rocks right here is one dam. Then down further, about 1/8 of a mile, give or take, where you make the left on the road to go up Little Round Top, right past that left-hand turn is another beaver dam. And so what I'm telling you is, well, those of you who might have seen a couple shoots in the winter time here, and I think this place is still beautiful in winter, the water line was back quite a bit from where it is now. The water line more or less came along like this, and as you can see, it's pushed back quite a bit. In fact, if I take you over here, you'll be able to get a better view. Kind of squishy here. Ooh, dragonflies. Awesome. So starting here, you can kind of see a channel that comes all the way down here, right to where my feet are just about. You got another kind of channel coming right here. So in essence, the beaver dam has broadened this already flattened area of a creek quite a bit more since springtime. And as I've mentioned before, this place is teeming with life. Just had a bunch of noisy geese over there that luckily shut the crap up. But there's so much life around here. So over there, you got a lodge. So you've got beaver, you've got geese. By the way, I can never tell, but did you guys know that in North America there are actually two kinds of geese that look almost identical? There's a true Canadian goose, and then there's a North American variety which looks almost identical, and I think its plumage on its breast may be just a tinge darker. Either that or it's the other way around. But and that one does not, the North American version looks almost identical, but it doesn't migrate like the Canadian geese do. Little fun factoid. But you know, the peepers, okay, the frogs that we made that wonderful chorus in early spring have now ceased, so one can assume that their mating is pretty much over. I saw a water snake just down by the further beaver dam today. Really pretty cool. So you've got, you know, beavers, you've got geese, you've got water snakes, you've got dragonflies, which I love. It's probably mentioned before, dragonfly is one of the coolest animals. It's an awesome hunter. It's a voracious hunter. It can eat its body weight and then some in about an hour. And of course, all types of awesome birds. As you guys know, my favorite is a red-winged blackbird, one of my favorites. But you've got lots of different other songbirds. Another video I made just not very far back at all from the same trip, got to see a great blue heron, which in my mind is one of the most majestic water birds or shore birds. I don't see one skulking about right now. But again, if it weren't for the beaver, this many different species of wildlife, and certainly the volume of the species of wildlife here wouldn't be if it weren't for the beaver. And I just think it's really cool. I also mentioned in a community post a while back that I've got this great book called Beaver Land, which goes more into detail about this. So to the maybe one or two of you who might actually be interested in this kind of thing, it's a really good book. Now, I started it and I just put it down and got distracted some time ago, so I haven't finished it. I've got to pick it back up again. But it's a really cool book, and it goes a bit further, and it talks about how in places like the Chesapeake Bay, what the beaver does in situations like that is it of course goes to work in the surrounding areas, just a little bit inland from the bay. Same is probably true for a lot of lakes and temperate areas. So what the beavers do is they kind of broaden the wetlands zone. It's kind of an intermediate zone, if you will. But what they do is, in effect, by helping to broaden out the water plane, it essentially makes the bay a lot healthier. So in my case, thanks to beavers and beavers making a comeback, the Chesapeake Bay, it's actually helping to make the bay healthier. Just one of the things. Also, the oyster projects and artificial oyster reefs have also been very, very beneficial. And despite what people might say, okay, so environmentalists never want to let you know that certain places are on the rebound, because then that, you know, poses a minor threat to their work, right? And you know, that their job is to keep people really interested and really concerned about these areas, and I don't want to negate that, but I'm here to tell you the Chesapeake Bay has been making a rebound. I'm not saying it's spectacularly healthy, but it's certainly much healthier than it was even just a handful of years ago, largely due to the oysters and largely due to the beavers. So, like I said in a community post, which by now is probably quite a ways back, if you have beavers in your area, please don't kill them or try to run them out. Protect your home and your surrounding wood line, right, with whatever measures you feel are suitable, but please don't kill them or try to run them out, because they are making our areas and our you know, intermingled ecological zones much, much healthier. So that's that, guys. It has been another great trip. I bumped into a number of people, and this doesn't always happen to me, but I bumped into a lot of folks this time and stopped and conversed for quite a while with some of them. Some of you may remember a community post with this guy I met named Bob. Bob was super cool. He was a native to South Central Pennsylvania. He was 85 years old and a heck of an interesting guy, in great shape for his age, and an unofficial tour guide. You know, we talked for a bit. He told me that he did not pass. He took the exam at least once and did not pass. And like I've said, it is very, very hard. Though I don't want anybody thinking that it's a cakewalk or that you can just study for a year or so. No, you've got to study your butt off for a long time, for a lot longer than a year, and have a knack for it. And then they only take, you know, a certain percentage, more or less the top of the class, right? So even some people who do really good on the exam don't necessarily get to become official licensed guides. But it's been an awesome trip. I've met a handful of people and talked with them at length, and it's just been a terrific experience this time, guys. The park is certainly filling up. It's getting livelier. It's not packed yet, so again, please come on down. Now is a great time before this place really gets packed, you know, before hotels are at the highest price. They're already getting pretty up there, but they're not quite at their peak prices yet. Come on down and see us, guys. Come on down and see me. I'm here quite frequently, although like I said, the hotter it gets, the less frequently I will be here. But come see Gettysburg, guys. Please, you know, come see the battlefield tour guides. Come see the restaurateurs and the individual, you know, independent shop owners, and pay Gettysburg a visit as soon as you can. and I'll see you on the next one.